Welcome to the first growth hack, somewhat provocatively titled Friends with Benefits. I'm going to begin with a couple of rhetorical questions. But how many Facebook friends do you have? I figure you maybe have 500, 1,000, 1,500, I don't care how popular you are, but how many of those Facebook friends do you actually end up caring about? Probably a small percentage of those friends. Yet when you think about it, most friend inviters, especially those on Facebook, just sort friends alphabetically, thereby conferring equal status to pretty much any friend. Like any one of the 1,100 friends I have is equally likely to show up in this inviter unless it's sorted by alphabetical order, which is even worse because people whose name starts with A get the majority of invites while people further down the list get fewer invitations. Don't you think we can do better, guys? Don't you think there are better ways of prioritizing invite forms and friend lists that actually makes more sense and optimizes performance? So one of my favorite strategies that I've used extensively in the past is ordering a friend invitation list by an approximate proximity of friendship. And this is a fun challenge to think about because Facebook does not tell us who our close friends are. Very recently they started testing their own algorithms to suggest friends, but a lot of what I was doing was before this, but even then their algorithms aren't as good as what we've come up with. So one of the most useful indicators I have found of proximity of friendship, and I've tested this rigorously, is seeing who shares the most photos with you. That is, who has the most photos in which you both are tagged. When you think about it, that's a really, really good analog for who you might be likely to be real life friends with. In fact, one of my viral applications was simply called Best Friend Predictor, where we predict who your best friends are. And our algorithm was so simple. We just looked at who you were in the most photos with. Generally turned out to be friends you really liked and got along with, leading to the application growing like wildfire. And I was getting all kinds of like creepy messages being like, how do you guys know? Did you hack my Facebook? Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, most number of common photo tags is my favorite way of telling proximity of friendship. Another kind of brute force way of doing it is by getting read access and just seeing who comments and likes on your stuff and whose stuff you like and comment on, with the latter relationship being more important than the former. Those two are both very, very powerful independently. If you have development resources, you can use them both in conjunction. Both of those strategies help a lot. Something that I thought would help, but shockingly did not help, was sorting by people you share the most mutual friends with. It was at best a very, very weak indicator of who you might be friends with based on our data, but feel free to test it. Maybe you'll see something else, because intuitively, I would think that to be a fair indicator. Though one hypothesis as to why that might not work that well is, I guess it's biased towards people that have a lot of friends. Like I definitely have people from my high school that have added pretty much everyone, and they kind of tend to dominate the most number of mutual friends algorithms. But maybe there's a way to weight it with the number of friends. Play around with it. The point is, proximity of friendship is a great way of sorting people to optimize performance of invitations and the like. You can also sort by the target demographic for your product. A friend of mine is working on a wine recommendation engine, and one of the first things I recommended was why not sort by, well, eliminate people under 21 to begin with, but I think the target wine demographic is women between the age of 28 and 40. I mean, you can read this information from Facebook. Whatever your target demographic is, why not find them and display them by default in your invitation list to prioritize invitations to them? Because chances are they would be a lot more likely than a random friend to accept that invitation, and they're more valuable. Similarly for a test prep product, like algorithmically find out who's a junior or senior in high school right now and target invitations to them specifically. This is another effective technique which is very useful for mobile applications where you can algorithmically determine what smartphone they use. I found a really hackish way of doing it. To be honest, I don't know if it still works, but if you can figure this out independently, I'm going to withhold this information. I'm going to be a big tease right now, but if You can tell me how you do it as well. I will buy a beer to anyone that's capable of telling me how I crack this. With that said, I haven't tested it lately, but there used to be a way to algorithmically determine what smartphone people use on Facebook. You must be wondering, this is well and good, but do you have any data to show me how well this works? And yes, I do. I have used this strategy so many times, including one time when I spent a very, very long time trying to optimize the number of hugs a person sent in a gifting application. The application was called Send Your Friends a Hug. The entire purpose of the application was to send hugs, which meant nothing. Each hug was merely an invitation to add the application. So essentially, it was an application built on inviting other people to the application. It's awesome. But what happened there was I spent a very long time trying to optimize the number of hugs sent outward. And it got to a point where I get people to send more and more hugs, but I still never broke the viral threshold. And this bothered me because I really thought there was potential here. And that's when I decided to change the friend list prioritization, and I ordered it to show only people with whom you shared a lot of photos. And that strategy did not change anything on the send side. In fact, people sent out slightly fewer invitations, but the percentage of acceptances rose 3 times, which was unbelievable. I mean, all of a sudden, people were getting hugs or gifts from people they cared about, and that just led to the application finally crossing the viral threshold. And when you think about it, I think that's one of the most powerful aspects of prioritizing friend lists is not what you get out of the send side, but the receive side. If you can increase the number of people accepting your outbound communication, that is so much more effective than getting people to send more stuff. I mean, when you get people to send a lot of stuff, they're perceived as spammy, but if you get people to accept a lot of invitations, it's perceived as being a higher quality product. So take my advice, guys. Just find your niche, find a way to order the friend list, find your sweet spot, and increase the percentage of people accepting your invites instead of focusing just on people inviting more. People will think your product is better for it. I think your product is better for it, and it's something you simply should be doing. Take care, guys, and on to growth hack number 2.